AI and technology. Are you into that bit, or would you like to see a person in person?
No, I mean, my area of law is a bit different. When you're charged with a criminal offence, with a potential sentence of 15 years, for example,
Wow.
you don't want to be talking to a robot. Come on.
That can be life-changing for somebody.
Of course, and it has been life-changing for people. Well, to be fair, these days when I come across people, it does seem like they've been talking to robots. It's a bit unfair the way some people are treated in the justice system. So the media mainly are quite biased, and they mainly like to report the prosecution case, whereas a criminal trial is a game of two halves, like football. So it can change in the next half, but the media always portray people to be guilty even before they have been found guilty.
They say bad news sells.
Bad news sells, but I think in crime purposes, I think a bit of good news would be good. So recently, Birmingham Mail did publish one of my good results, and I was quite happy with that, to be fair.
So are you changing the game?
I think I am, yeah. I think I already changed it.
So where did the tag name come from?
I started making videos on Instagram. It started off on Instagram first, and then it went over to TikTok. I started making videos during COVID, which is about 2.5 years ago now.
Camera skills have got really good as well.
What do you mean camera skills?
Like in terms of the way you talk, the way you look at the camera,
delivery.
your confidence, your delivery, the start, middle,
Yeah,
and
but-
there's an art to that. What your relevance, what you're saying, is always been good, which is why I've been following. But you're just like a natural, like you're ready for TV, bro.
Okay. What I say to people, if you're confident in doing something,
Yeah.
half of the job is done.
There you go.
If you're offered an opportunity and you don't know how to do it, accept the opportunity and then learn how to do it. Anybody can learn how to do anything, especially in this day and age.
Definitely. I think somebody really famous said them words actually.
Richard Branson?
That's it. The Virgin
Richard
guy.
Branson said it. I read quite a lot.
Okay.
And I read famous people's stories and I read famous people's quotes. You have to try to be around positivity. And if you are reading about people that you aspire to be like, that inspire you, sooner or later you'll get there.
I never used to read. I'll be honest. I came to 34, 35, 2-3 years ago, and I thought, reach the ceiling now. And then I started opening books, and it wasn't like I wasn't coachable. It was more like, oh, I've got my granddad telling me, my dad's telling me about business. I've done a degree, and I'm going through the ranks. But it came where I hit a ceiling now. Don't know any more information. And then I started reading autobiographies, and one of the first ones was even Kevin Hart, and he's a comedian on stage.
It talks a lot of sense.
Yeah, but at the start you think, you know, that this guy's always been a comedian, always had money. But when you read the book, he started off very poor. His dad was into drugs, like almost single family background, and you think, wow, how did he do that?
A man who doesn't read doesn't have no advantage over the person who reads.
Yes, 100. I saw another video actually yesterday. I don't know how, but a guy was next to a police station and he's flying his drone, and he had a video camera there, and he was being like put into cuffs, and this guy knew his rights, and the police officer was bullying him, holding his cuffs and pushing it down onto his hands, and he looked to the other, he goes, you're supposed to be protecting me. I haven't been convicted of anything right now. I know I'm within my rights of section 1, blah, blah, blah. And this guy just wanted to violate this guy because he was like, it was like an ego thing, it came into it. And then he posted this little letter on top and saying, I just got £3,600 compensation because he submitted it.
See, the thing is this now, I'll be straight with you. I know police officers. I know ex-police officers. Most people who get into the police force, any area, the people who've probably been bullied in their school life, and now they've got into a job that gives them that power.
Right.
So the ones that do abuse their power, like we just mentioned, they probably had a background like that. They've probably been bullied in school. So they're thinking, people are used to bully me in school. Let me show you, you know. And I've actually spoke to police officers. I've got a lot of friends who are police officers.
Yep.
Not all of them are the same.
No.
But they've told me this, and it makes sense. If power is given to someone who can't control it.
Yeah. Should there be some sort of penalty or some sort of conviction to officers who are found guilty of abusing their power to be an example so other policemen and go, well, I don't want to be in that position?
There should be harsher penalties. Yes, there should 100%. I agree with that, because that would deter other police officers to do the same thing, to abuse their power, because they do it quite easily and they get away with it.
You've seen hundreds of cases, if not thousands. Feel the energy of what's happening in a lot of these cases. Do you feel, in your own opinion, that racism exists?
Of course it does. Racism exists. When I'm dealing with a case right now where I can't get into it too much because it's an ongoing case.
Sure.
But a police officer was called a fat packy by another colleague, by a white colleague. Don't want to get too much into it.
Sure.
But it happens. Same thing. Not just the police force. It's everywhere. If you think that there's no racism left in England or anywhere else in the world, you're mistaken. Wow. It's everywhere, you know.
It's weird you say that. That's what he said, because in my opinion, I felt that racism is felt more than said. Do you know what I mean? Like people treating you differently rather than saying something, so you can't even say anything.
See, with me, I am very aware of my surroundings. So I can tell. I'm not saying I'm psychic or anything. I can tell when somebody's acting funny, when somebody's just making a sarcastic comment and they're dropping a little joke, but really they mean it. I can tell. And you're right what you just said, you get treated differently, you know?
I mean, especially
in
now.
certain environments. And you don't feel welcome. But then that's up to you. You have to build yourself up to such a standard that they can't do nothing apart from just talk about you. Someone you'll see on social media and they'll be messaging you, you'll see them face to face and they can't have a conversation with you, man. Be like, oh, you know, you'd be messaging me on Instagram or whatever it is. And you'll be chatting to me. But when I've seen you face to face, that shows that people have got no personalities. Their personalities is social media now.
Send you a bloody good email, but then you see them face to face and they're not that guy. They can't even look you in the eyes properly.
They can't.
You're one of the most awake people I've sort of like in your industry that I've seen, because I've dealt with loads of solicitors as well, doing, you know, litigation and they're very robotic and they keep a structure with everything, and it was like, it looks like they've just gone into the system, learn everything that they needed to, and then they stick within this. You know, you can talk to the person in the shop 1 minute and then stand in court the other, because you've got that knowledge and power.
And that comes with experience, and that comes with reading, I would say, as well.
You've done these 2 jobs. I haven't heard anything about law yet, or you doing a law degree. How did that all come about? Would you agree the 5 closest people are who you're going to be most like?
Yes, I've come to that stage now. People want to be like me. So I've got people around me who inspire to be like me. So I've gone past that stage now. But you are right. You are what your company is. Obviously I'm Muslim, and our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this. You are what your company is. If you associate yourself with a perfume maker, you are going to smell of what?
Perfume.
You have to be very careful who you are associating yourself with, because negative people around you, you won't even know. You'll be thinking that they're friends and family, but they will be hating, and that can put you off your goals.
People portray hate on top of you. Like, I'm also on social media and I get a comment and I think only family could know that about me or say that about me. And I'm like, that is one of my relatives. Like, so many people say doing God's work, you're doing good thing, you're teaching us. I know you're getting all these comments. Do you think family are supporting you, or do you think behind the curtains?
It's not that they're hating. They just can't take the fact that this is the same kid who we used to be with, whatever, sitting there for a couple of hours, chilling, doing nothing.
Yeah.
And he's gone and done this.
He's left us.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once you start excelling in life and you go to a certain altitude, it's difficult for them people to breathe there. That's why they're not there. So don't feel bad for leaving these kind of people. I used to feel very bad when I used to be doing well and thinking, this guy's not doing well, I'm still doing the same. But the thing is, you have to accept the fact that not everybody's going to go with you, come up with you. People could have started with you and they fell off. After that, that's their fault. That's a choice they made. Failure is a choice, by the way. Failure is a choice.
I like that.
Nobody fails by chance. It's a choice. Let me tell you why. Because you're only going to fail if you quit. If you try something and it doesn't work, try something else. Carry on going until you make something of yourself. There's so much opportunities right now on earth. Our parents, our ancestors can come from the subcontinent with £0 in their pocket and build empires. We are born and raised here in the United Kingdom. The amount of resources we have, ideas, network, research. We can learn anything on YouTube these days. We don't need anything. Nowadays, you can learn how to dismantle a car engine on YouTube and put it back together. You can learn anything on YouTube. There's so much resources out there, so we're not doing well. It's by choice. It's not chance.
You know, failure is part of success.
Of course it
You
is.
know, it's not the opposite. It's part of it. You will
Part of
keep.
it.
How many times have we failed, bro?
Loads of
And
times,
people
man.
don't see the failure; they just see
People
the
don't see.
success.
People don't see.
You know, and see how many times you fail. You mentioned a case earlier on. I think it'd be good to quickly touch on this, especially the limelight. You're in social media. You're seeing everybody. People know your profile. They see your cars, your lifestyle, and they know this guy's got his way around a pound note. You know, he's got some. And there will be certain people who are watching you, and even women are attracted to things like that. And you've heard that in the media quite a lot. But the thing that spoils it is some women cry wolf and go, this guy did this to me, he touched me, he, you know, raped me, for example. But she might be lying. Now, do you think there's a harsh penalty for women that they can be set as an example that if you as a woman abuse this position, that you're gonna actually, there's gonna be some backlash for you
Yeah,
saying
there's a
that?
case recently. I made a video about it. Eleanor Williams. It's a woman. She is a woman. It's a woman. Yeah. And what she did was she made false allegations against three different people.
Wow.
So these three people were not linked to each other. So she's made this allegation at the same time regarding three people. And the allegations were that they've groomed her and they've raped her and they've drugged her and all sorts. And she got found out to be a liar. Not from the trial, but I think she was talking to a friend or something and she released information that, look, I'm just. But these guys now, one of the guys had on his wall outside his house written, "You dirty rapist, go back to your country." Another guy had pedophile written. And they were on remand as well, by the way. They were on remand for 4 to 5 months inside prison on a rapist wing. Everybody's watching them and thinking, oh, that guy's in the rapist wing, that guy's in the... Because people automatically assume that you're guilty of an offense when you
Yeah.
get charged, really. Even when you get arrested, they think, oh, I must have done something, no smoke without fire. But no, it doesn't work like that. A lot of people, like you got stopped.
Even the one family member car just looked like proper, and oh, he was getting arrested. You know, it's 10 times worse. It ruins your reputation.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
So she got 8 years in prison.
Okay.
But with those three guys, that's with them for life. She's going to serve 4 years and be out. I think she should have got what they would have potentially looking at. They were potentially looking at 10, 15 years. So she should have got the same. But women do get away with a lot in society.
With all of these pronouns and everything that's going on, he, she, them, etc., certain people who are becoming women and competing in women's sports, and then they're also getting the same advantages as women are getting. And do you think men and women should be treated totally equal and the same laws apply now? Because I think certain people are making choices to become a certain gender to have a certain advantage.
See, them people, the people who are making them choices, they're definitely got an advantage over a lot of other people. Because the thing is, nowadays, if somebody says something against the LGBT community, it's a big propaganda nowadays. In terms of, it's people's own preferences, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't change from a male to a female. I don't think none of my family members will, none of my kids will. Hopefully, none of my coming generations will. Because it's not God's work, is it? Which is the truth. I'm a Muslim.
But do you think the law is fair where they favor women in certain aspects? Because there's certain people who have done a crime and then become a woman and then they get based.
They've gone to a women's prison.
Yes.
I've read that somewhere as well,
Yes.
which is ridiculous, I think.
So that's my point.
That's ridiculous. Imagine that person who is goes inside the women's prison and rapes a woman.
Yes, exactly.
What are they going to do then?
And some people aren't even heard in prison. You know, they could be doing offences inside prison and no one's hearing about it.
Exactly.
Because they're thinking, oh, if I complain, then I'm part of the trouble. My sentence goes on a little bit more. Do you think AI could take over business such as yourself? Like in terms of, I have this problem, this is what I've been accused of, this was the situation, and the computer goes, well, there's your answer, not guilty under these grounds and we'll represent you. Do you think that could ever happen?
No, not in criminal law. I don't think so. Like I said, man, nobody's going to type a question into a computer and expect to get results when you're facing life in prison. I wouldn't do it. I'd rather represent myself.
Yes.
Can't trust technology like that.
So you got a lot of eyes watching you now. You're everywhere, and you're getting some big hate, like even from people that should be professional themselves, and they're trying to chop your tree down to make their tree look bigger. How do you deal with people like that?
When your energy is magnetic and contagious, when you automatically attract attention without even trying, negativity comes with it. So you have to be expecting that anyway, which I did anyway, sort of See, even before social media, I've been a popular person.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a popular person since I was a kid in school. You know, I've always been like the alpha, you know.
Large and in charge, yeah.
You have to. So I've had people watching me and people talking bad about me all the time. Somebody sent me a clip this morning with this barrister, a fellow professional, is calling me laughable. He's saying this guy's laughable. The thing is, you're sitting there in an interview and you're talking about me. I rest my case. Done. I've done my job. You're talking about me,
Free
mate.
marketing.
Free marketing. You just spoke about me. You've been in this profession for 30, 40 years. And you're
Wow.
speaking about somebody who's recently come on the scene. Well, not recently. That's been 6, 7 years. I've had 6
Yeah.
years out in practice.
Yeah.
But still recent compared to that, man. I've only left my studies just over 10 years ago. So I was studying 10 years ago. You get it? Which is a long, very long time. That's why I said plans. You have to plan. So a kid that was studying 10 years ago, you're talking about him in an interview on a big podcast, mate. Thank you.
Boom. Done.
Done, innit?
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Done.
Well, I want to see a little bit of your resume, a little bit of your what you're capable of. Some of the most common mistakes people make.
One of the most common mistakes are talking too much.
Right.
Clients talk too much and they will incriminate themselves without them even knowing.
Right.
My advice would be, if you've got a legal representative present, listen to that person. When you go to a doctor and the doctor prescribes you with a medication, are you going to turn around to the doctor and say, no, I don't like them, unless you're allergic to it. I don't like that medication. Give me a different one. When you take a criminal case, you listen to your lawyer. I've had cases where, clients, like I had a murder case, for example, last year. The trial took place last year, and my client was the only client who got acquitted of that murder. Acquitted meaning not guilty. The others pleaded to lesser offences in their end, but my client was found not guilty by the jury. He called me even before going into the police station, and he said, "This is what's happened. What do you think?" He told me what happened. He goes, "I went there. I seen the screaming, shouting. Picked someone up and I drove off." I go, "No problem." I go, "You haven't done nothing wrong, by the way." Because he's sure. He goes, "Everyone's saying I've done this, I've done that." I go, "You have not done anything wrong. You've given me your instructions now. I know your side of the story. You let me now do my job." So I've told him what's going to happen from the outset, even before he's gone to the police station.
Okay. And that means a lot, by the way.
I've told him
Because
exactly.
people are shitting themselves in that position. They think their whole life is over.
Exactly. So how calming, comforting that must be, only they can tell me. Obviously, I can't say it because I'm not in that position. So I've told him this. I said, "Go on this Alfin. I'll see you at the police station tomorrow or whenever." Went to the police station. I did a pre-prepared statement, which basically means it's a statement setting out his defense from start to finish. So we've given a full account of what's happened on that night, even before the police have turned around and given us anything. Even before the police could say, "Your car was at the scene." Even before the police could turn around and say, "The cell site of your mobile phone being in that area where the murder took place." Even before all of that, we've said, "Yes, we was there." But I've told him, once we give them this information, they will charge you for murder and they will remand you. You're not going to get bail, but at trial, you're going to be found not guilty. It was almost a guarantee. It wasn't 100. You can never be 100%. Because the only thing that is guaranteed in life is death. Apart from that, nothing else is guaranteed. Simple as that. I tell that to my clients as well.
Yeah.